Quik Therm Solar Dry exterior wall insulation is designed to work with the other components of the building envelope as part of a coherent system that maximizes thermal performance while effectively managing moisture. As with any system, proper installation of all components is required to achieve the system testing results and take full advantage of the built-in moisture control features of the system. There are several key areas to pay particular close attention to when installing Solar Dry. Use proper sealing techniques and approved products to help prevent air and moisture ingress, as well as convection looping, which will degrade thermal performance. In addition, close attention to finishing details around doors, windows, and corners will ensure proper moisture management in these areas, as well as a clean final finish. Install flashing and bug screen at the base of the wall as per manufacturer recommendations and local building codes. Install panels with label outwards to ensure interior drying plane channels and exterior strapping grooves are properly oriented. SDIs to be installed with grooves and channels in a vertical orientation only. SDI panels are equipped with tongue and groove connections for ease of alignment, ensuring a proper connection is achieved at the joints. In some instances, furring channels may not align with wall studs. SDI panels are durable and flexible and will compress slightly. Apply strapping in these locations using sufficient fasteners to compress the SDI as required. Use minimum 3/4 inch thick wood or steel furring to meet cement board installation requirements and provide a code-compliant Rainscreen. Quik Therm SDI is available to accommodate both 16-inch and 24-inch stud spacing at a variety of thicknesses. Ensure to choose the system that meets your requirements. The following instructions apply to buildings up to 3 stories. For installation of SDI in buildings from 4 to 6 stories, reference links to additional requirements that should be adhered to are provided at the end of this video. A vapor permeable air barrier installed over the sheathing forms the inboard side of the drying plane, helping to protect the sheathing from moisture. This layer is to be installed as per manufacturer recommendations and local building codes. Once the air barrier is properly installed, the SDI installation process can begin. For each wall, the first and last SDI panels will be offset from the corners, which will be filled in later in the installation process. Begin by aligning furring channels over the studs, with first channel aligning over the first wall stud in from the corner. Apply a liberal bead of spray foam or EPS-compatible sealant at the top of the wall where the panel will be installed. In some instances, it may be preferable to add the foam to the back of the panel at the top as opposed to the wall itself. In either instance, use a liberal amount of sealant. Install the panel, ensuring it covers the wall top plate, and install furring strips into the channels over framing members, securing the panel to the studs. Furring channels have a wide flat spot to accommodate minor discrepancies in stud spacing, as well as to accommodate different strapping widths. Fasteners should be installed through strapping and SDI to framing as per FSC guidelines. Refer to the link at the end of this video. The spray foam or EPS-compatible sealant applied earlier will seal the upper openings in the drying plane cavities, minimizing convection looping, which can reduce thermal performance. As such, it is important that a liberal amount of foam or sealant is used. Install the remaining panels along the wall, first applying a liberal bead of spray foam or EPS-compatible sealant to the top of each panel on the back side, or alternatively at the top of the wall to ensure proper sealing of the drying plane. In addition, apply foam in each panel groove to ensure proper sealing between panels. Secure each panel with approved fasteners, ensuring panels cover the top plate and a proper connection is achieved at the panel joints. Tape all panel joints using approved tape to help prevent the ingress of air and moisture. At the opposite corner of the wall, install the last panel such that it overhangs the edge. The panel will be cut later to properly finish the corner. Secure panel in place. Install SDI on the remaining walls as before, starting at the first stud in from the corner and finishing at the last stud out from the opposite corner. Ensure proper sealing at the top of the wall and between the panels as previously described. For multi-story buildings, a hidden flashing will be installed at each floor to allow moisture to properly drain. Unlike the flashing at the base of the wall, which extends flush with the cladding, the flashing installed at each floor will be hidden by the cladding. Install flashing in these and other areas as per designers' recommendations and local building codes. To accommodate cladding and trim, it is best to install SDI flat against the wall at each of the corners. SDI has long flat spots on the front of the panel between the furring grooves as well as at the panel ends. To finish corners, use cutoffs from full panels, rotating until a flat area is achieved at the corner and cutting to length as required. Sometimes a flat area cannot be achieved at the corners. SDI panels are durable and flexible and can compress slightly. Apply fasteners to slightly squeeze and shape SDI in these areas. Note that an 1/8 inch projection discrepancy between furring strips is typically acceptable for most claddings. Check with the cladding manufacturer. Overlap SDI on the corners and foam or tape all joints for best R-value performance. Remember to apply a liberal bead of foam or EPS-compatible sealant to the top of the corner panels prior to installation, ensuring each panel covers the wall top plate. A wider furring strip is typically used at the corners to accommodate a small cladding overlap, as well as the cladding corner finishing trim. Check with cladding and molding manufacturer guidelines for minimum width requirements. To minimize thermal bridging around window and door openings, cut SDI panels flush to the rough opening, as well as flush with the windowsill rough framing. Install furring strips around the window and door openings using appropriate fasteners to provide a solid surface for installing cladding and finishing trim. Seal the top of the drainage plane cavities at the windowsills to minimize convection looping. Although not as thermally efficient, another method for finishing around doors and windows involves constructing a build-out around the opening and installing the SDI against the build-out. Seal the top of the drying plane cavities under the sill to minimize convection looping. Consult with a building professional to determine if either of these methods or a different approach will be best suited for your situation. Channels or flat areas will not necessarily line up with vertical framing. However, SDI panels are durable and flexible and can compress slightly. Apply fasteners to slightly squeeze and shape SDI in these areas. It is crucial that proper air and moisture sealing details are adhered to when installing SDI. Apply flashing, caulking, and peel and stick products, ensuring there is no air or moisture penetration. Adhere to local building codes, manufacturer instructions, and best practices as outlined by a building design professional. For installation of SDI on 4 to 6 story buildings, please refer to additional instructions found at quicktherm.com. More detailed engineered installation instructions for attaching foam sheathing to wall framing can be found on the Foam Sheathing Coalition website.